Hey guys, before we start this episode, we want to just kind of take a small moment. Um, we actually pre-record our episodes, so this episode was actually recorded maybe a week or so ago,
Yeah,
um, and so we wanted to jump on real quick because we had a development that happened, and we want to make sure we talk to it before this episode starts.
absolutely. Our hearts and our prayers are with Gerrikka and her husband Terrance, as we were just informed that her father has passed away, and she was able to share some memories and share some information with us about her father and his influence on her life during our episode. So we just wanted to make sure that we sent this disclaimer out and that we said this prior to you listening. So thank you guys for tuning in today and just continue to keep their family in your prayers.
Absolutely, we send all of our love and our wishes out to the entire family. Um, you guys sit back and relax and get ready for this episode because you're going to hear some great things about both these two wonderful entrepreneurs. So, yeah, thanks, guys. Okay, Aisha, we are back for another episode of RDU Black. How you doing
Yes,
today?
we are. I'm great. The weather is getting warmer here in Durham. I spent some time outside today. I went for a run yesterday. I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
This weather is disrespectful. I just want to make sure everyone up here understands that how disrespectful this weather is. For anybody who has allergies, I know you feel my pain. Woo, sa.
Yeah, that's North Carolina for you. Pollen's everywhere. We got the cars washed today, actually, and I just know, when I go back outside in probably 2 hours, it's gonna have that green hue all over the car again. I already know.
Trust me. And right now I'm traveling, so it's not the best thing because different states have different level of pollen and different. I'm going to just say it strands of pollen, and it's just disrespectful in all the states I've been to. But I am glad to kind of get out of the house.
Yes, be
And
outside with it.
Okay. We are now fully vaccinated, so we're going to travel just a little bit, but still be safe or whatever have you. Because I remember that when we first got shut down, really the only other places that started to reopen were places like either restaurants and then malls, which was kind of weird for me because I'm like, you would think those would be the places where they need to stay shut down the longest, but they kind of were ones that opened up first. So it was like, but they had all these different restrictions that you had to kind of go through, especially and they kind of still are, depending on which mall you're going into or which restaurant you're going into. You have a certain capacity or whatever have you. So I have traveled to the mall a couple of times, especially when those new Jordans came out the past couple of months ago, and I surely went to the mall and stood in that line.
I think the mall was one of the last places that I went to. Just during the whole pandemic, I didn't really want to go into the mall just because I wasn't sure, how serious the malls would be taking it and if they'd be cleaning and sanitizing as they should. And then I'm just thinking, well, it's the mall, right? So the floodgates are usually open. If you're here in the RDU area, the South Point Mall and Crabtree are probably two really popular malls everyone goes to. So I was like, I'm a little worried, and I was just really fine with online shopping. So once things started to ease up a little bit, I will say that I did finally go to the mall, and I went to South Point, and it was great. They really practice social distancing in the food court the most I saw, and I didn't actually eat just because I was still a little worried there, but just for shopping, I went, had a great experience, so I feel like the malls they're open, they're pretty safe, there's lots of space inside, and then they were keeping track of how many people could go in each store as well.
Yeah, I actually have never been a big fan of the mall. As a child, I hated going to the mall. But in a small town, there was two things as a child that you could do. You either go, no, three. I'm sorry, three. You either can go to the mall, skating rink on the weekends was
Yes.
lit.
Yes.
And for some reason, if you're from the 252, you can feel me. Walmart. Just the parking lot of Walmart was like the club for the young people. Because back in the 90s, we didn't have the police really harassing and all of like that. No, it was you would be in the parking lot forever. So you had those three things. You had Walmart, you had the skating rink, which was literally lit.
It was.
And then you had going to the mall.
Oh yeah, that was the only things to do.
Nothing. You're not buying anything. You're just there.
Now I would ask like $10 if I could, so I can get some Chick-fil-A, get some Chinese food. Like I wanted something to eat, but for the most part, like, definitely wasn't shopping. We was just like at the mall. We'd walk around all day and then eat in the food court and then walk around some more. Like we were doing absolutely nothing but just hanging out at the mall.
Whew. I mean, I don't really see myself really hanging out at the mall because there's not really that many things for me because I like to window shop, but after a while, I got to go to the mall for a purpose. I'm like, I'm going there because I know I'm getting this shoe or I'm looking for this style of shirt or I'm looking for this specific thing. And so for me, it's got to be very specific of why I'm going there.
That's called aging, DeVashi. It's called aging.
So you just called me old. Okay.
No,
we're just
I'm
gonna
the
put
same
that out
way.
there.
I'm the same way. I really don't like to go to the mall that much. I really don't. And when I am there, it's like I kind of want to find like a quiet store immediately. It's the same thing like going to Walmart. It's so overwhelming for me. But if I go to Target, I'm like, oh, this is peaceful. I might have a Starbucks. I might have a frappe. Walk around and pick up a few things and smell some candles. Like, so I'm the same way. But
I love the specialty stores. I found this one store, and it's not. I don't even think it's in Crabtree anymore. But it was like a store full of board games. Ooh. Because I told myself I was going to start collecting Monopoly boards of just all kinds of Monopoly boards. Because that was one of my favorite, and it still is one of my favorite games to play. Some people hate it because it takes forever in the day. But I have played a whole game from beginning to end of Monopoly in 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
When I was in college, I was an RA in Latham at North Carolina Central University with Eagle Pride Amplified. And we would literally play Monopoly like it was spades.
I believe it.
Roll, move, roll, move, roll, move. You miss your roll, get up. I'm serious. Yeah. Like, so but this specialty store that I found, it had like so many of like the classic games. And then I found a Monopoly board of probably one of the original ones. And from what I was told, it was discontinued. They were like saying it was discontinued for like 5 or 6 years. And last year it was like sold for like $200 because it was like, no one could find them anywhere. Awesome. And they had just restocked and put them back out. And I got mine for like $30. But I'm like, I'm just gonna hold on to that board because it's gonna turn around for me. So yeah, I like those specialty stores. Yeah, because sometimes those specialty stores like the little boutiques and stuff like that where you can't really find those type of clothes anywhere else except for that one type of store.
Exactly. So with that being said, if you are interested in finding some type of a store that has specialty items, in particular, maybe even specialty items created by Black founders, Black creatives, or if you were looking for a place to hang out, you kind of don't really like walking around the mall that much and you want to just kind of connect with some people. You want to find a place to meet up with friends besides the food court because loud and it's noisy. We actually have 2 people coming up on the podcast episode who have something that you might be interested in.
So yeah, guys, stay tuned because this husband and wife team, they both have stores in the Crabtree Valley Mall area that will really cater to our listeners, our people, and you'll be able to get some specialty items curated for the Black experience. So stay tuned. We're going to take a small little break, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, this is DeVashi of RDU Black Podcast. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us under the handle at RDU Black Podcast. That's RDUBLK Podcast. We post regularly, so make sure you stay connected.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of RDU Black. We appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Absolutely. So today we have our second couple.
Yes, we're on a roll.
We are. So couples out there, come on. We know y'all some serial entrepreneurs out there. You know, you making it really happen for your whole family. It's a whole family business. Everybody working. Everybody got a job.
That's right.
All right. So Aisha, you want to cue them up?
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys, please help us welcome Gerrikka Bunche, affectionately known as Rika B. She is a wife, mother, coach, entrepreneur, and friend. She is also a mom enthusiast, which is very befitting as she fulfills her purpose and passion for inspiring and motivating mothers to break society's just a mom standard. Mom Redefined is the ultimate empowerment and networking group to build, encourage, and cultivate moms to chase their dreams as hard as they chase their kids. The main focus of Mom Redefined is to reignite a passion for goals and dreams that were a priority prior to giving birth. From launching businesses to obtaining degrees to traveling, moms are provided resources and motivation to dream again. After several moments of desiring a space to network with other moms in the RDU area who are balancing babies and businesses as well, she created what she wished existed and launched Mom Redefined in January 2017. From this great venture, the Lounge NC was opened in the Triangle Town Center Mall in Raleigh, North Carolina, and is now at the Crabtree Valley Mall, also in Raleigh. The Lounge NC is a one-stop shop for the mama on the grind. Also joining us today is Rika B's husband, Terrance, owner of The Stadium, a retail space located in Crabtree Valley Mall, Suite 1089. The Stadium was established to provide maximum exposure for male-owned businesses as they showcase their products and services in an atmosphere that is organically woven with great conversation about personal, financial, and mental growth. Think barbershop vibes, but you can also support exclusive brands. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Rika B of The Lounge by Mom Redefined, along with her husband, Terrance J. Bunche Sr., owner of The Stadium, to the RDU Black Podcast. Welcome.
Hey, welcome everybody.
How are you all?
We're great. I'm loving this red lip, by the way.
Thank you.
She said, I got to throw it on. Got to throw it on for people. So we want to thank you guys for joining us on this venture that we are calling RDU Black, where we are promoting Black-owned businesses in this area. And you guys' businesses is incredibly unique, where you said, okay, we just want to actually promote Black-owned businesses in the area in one space. And so I want to kind of just, if you guys can just kind of tell us about who you are and just a little bit about that whole story.
Well, thank you all for having us. We are the owners of The Stadium and the Lounge. Both of our concepts are pretty similar. The biggest thing is we wanted our people, our communities to have the opportunity to be in a, high pace, high volume mall, Crabtree Valley Mall, and not have to pay the high prices. So instead of paying thousands of dollars for that space, they pay a couple $100s, and they are allowed to maintain their full-time positions. They're also allowed to promote their businesses. They're small for now. I'm really big on that. I say it's a small business, but it's small for now. And they have those spaces, and we network and we grow those businesses, and we have fun while doing it. So that's pretty much why we created our spaces. Like I said, we wanted to make it cost efficient, and we want them to learn to retail things. I want any one of the brands that are featured in either one of our stores to be able to start their own stores if they or open their own stores if they wanted to. They learn the busy times of the week and the month and the year, and then they're able to kind of see which one of the items sell really well, which ones don't, and they learn all those things without paying all the overhead.
Nice. So we both I learned by reading your bios that you both are alumnus of the greatest university on the planet, that being North Carolina Central University.
Yes, sir.
My alumni, my ego pride amplified. So how has that HBCU experience shaped who you are as business professionals?
Sure. I would say I graduated from Central in 2009 with a degree in computer information systems. So just the dynamics of that kind of prepared me for one day. I knew I would eventually have my own business, but I didn't know it would be at this point. Just the training and development and the teaching that we got throughout the various courses, teaching you how to interact with people, how to, present yourself professionally, just how, I guess, building relationships and the importance of that. All of those skills are the things that I would pick up on while I was in school and use that particularly now as I birthed the stadium a couple weeks ago. So Central, I would say, definitely prepared me to just expose myself to other people, and it gave me the background that I needed to really push this thing forward.
Nice. What about you, Rika B?
I would definitely say all the things that Terrance said. And, we support our people. If you go to a HBCU, their experience is like none other. And a lot of the friends that we had in college, we also have now. So they're sharing our network. Well, we're sharing our business ventures with their network, and we're mixing them together, and we are making this thing really, really big because, like I said, the HBCU experience and the I guess really like the relationships that you form when you're there, when we're young and don't know what's going on, and then we're able to kind of grow with each other throughout the years. That's really been one of the things that I enjoy. There's not been any event or anything that we've had where one of our friends from Central was not in attendance.
Yeah, that's important. All of my closest friends right now, we all met at college. It's like, and you never let those things go. It's like, of course, you have some relationships where it's like they didn't really like work out, but like those core people, it's just something about when you go into the HBCU and you all are getting dressed for that Wednesday at the calf. Listen, nothing beats it. Nothing beats it.
Yeah, and I so for instance, I host Moments and so my brand is all for moms. Right, I love moms. I love just moms. That's my passion. But I host Moments in Paradise, or mom trips, or mom vacations rather. And so we just came back from Jamaica about a month ago. Actually, I had 6 of my girlfriends that went to Central with me in attendance in Jamaica. And like, we met each other in 2005. Most of us were in Latham Hall.
Latham.
Yeah, we were in Latham Hall.
Latham ain't even a thing no more. I was an RA in Latham.
No, really?
Yeah. I was at Central from 2001 to 2005.
Oh, so we graduated. Well, I graduated. Well, I came in 2005, and you were there in 2004, right?
Came in 2004, and I graduated in 2009. So
we actually met at Central. We were college sweethearts, and we got married in 2009. So, yeah.
Well, that's exactly.
We grew together.
Yes. And that was actually my next question. I wanted to follow up on that. So speaking of like your HBCU experience, can you tell us a little bit about your HBCU love story? How you guys met? Were you having some of these like early business conversations early on? And did your, passion for moms and like creating a space for them, kind of tell us how that started after you met Terrance and you guys got married? Were you kind of thinking about this early on and thinking about having children? Like, just let us know kind of how that love story developed.
About it early, and I can't let you start.
I'll start.
Terrance, we met in accounting class because Terrance was cheating off my paper. So
that's the story that she tells everyone. But
because where did we meet?
So in the School of Business, because we had several classes together, and we used
accounting being one.
That was one of them, and we used to kind of work together to get through the classes. It was never me cheating off of her paper. That's the story she tells. Anyway,
it's fine, Terrance. We've all been there.
Absolutely. So we started dating, I think my junior year. She was a sophomore at the time. And then I graduated in 2009. We got married that very next month after graduation.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Now I'm in your business a little bit. How did y'all get the money to pay for a wedding? I was like broke when I left school. So
it's so funny. And I tell people, I'm like, yeah, we got married off a refund check. So I was 21 years old when we got married. But my mom was like, everyone loves Terrance.
Oh.
But my mom's like, whatever I need to pay, whatever I need to do, y'all can do, you can get married now. And I'm like, girl, I'm 21. I'm like, but honestly, it was the best thing that I've ever done. I'm not just saying that, but he's really amazing.
Thank you.
He's really amazing. But to be honest, owning a business at that time, absolutely not. That was not on my. I wasn't thinking, that was not on my mind at all. I started Mom Redefined because we had fertility issues. And so after, I think we tried for years, we had a miscarriage. Like we tried hard for a couple of years to conceive. And when we finally had a successful pregnancy, my life was revolving around my son. Like nothing else mattered because, part of it I think is because I knew how hard we worked. I mean, we worked hard. And so I was not letting him out of my sight. He did not stay. And I'm loosening up a little bit now, but when and he's 7.
I'm about to say, how old is he now?
He's 7, but I never let him go anywhere. It was, if he's not with me, he's with Terrance. And I just lost myself. Like I wasn't dressing up. Like I would wear heels all the time. He's fly, but I'm like, as long as he's cute, I have on my little leggings and a t-shirt. And so one day it hit me because I used to always say, well, I don't go anywhere where my son isn't welcome. Like I don't go anywhere if my son can't come with me. And so one day it hit me. I'm like, this is not my life. Like I cannot believe. And I was still in my 20s. So, no, like life is not over because I gave birth to my son. And so I realized that there were so many other moms that were probably in this same space mentally. And so I wanted to create a space physically where they can kind of have a moment. I call them all of my events moments or moments for moms. And I created Mom Redefined. I'm really big on creating what I wish existed. And so that was one of the things that I did. And so we host networking events and vacations. That's my new thing. Yes. We're going to Cabo in a couple of months and I'm excited about that. But yeah, we do different things for moms and give them proof that they can do it. It doesn't have to end because you gave birth. And a lot of us forget about all of the things that we had planned prior to giving birth once our baby arrives. Like everything else goes out the window. And I wanted to kind of change that.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing that.
As a husband and wife duo, your husband and wife, you have 2 children, Terrance and Taylor. How have you made it work having a successful business and still having a successful marriage and thus being successful parents?
Honestly, I would say the support circle that we have around us, not only just family, but we have several friends, even our church family. They're like an extended family, so to speak. So we've been able to kind of try to balance having the businesses, being married, and then just relying on those that God has given us to help out with our kids. As she said early on, because we worked so hard, it was kind of a hurdle to get to trust people with your children. But over time, you kind of realize very quickly, there's no way possible you can do it by yourself. And if you do, some area is going to go lacking, whether it's the businesses, whether it's your marriage, or whether it's yourself. As she said, not only do moms lose themselves, but dads lose themselves as well because you work so hard to be that provider, to be that sustainer, to make sure your family's taken care of that a lot of times you'll put your own needs on the back burner. So I had to learn early on that, okay, Terrance, it's okay to be balanced in certain areas, but you have to trust people as well and lean on the help that's there for you. So just kind of take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think that's very important as far as, and we've kind of said that in a lot of our episodes, where is that you kind of find find your tribe, because that tribe is really going to help propel you, especially in those times where things can be a little bit hard, because life is always going to happen. And I'm glad that you guys have started to really build a good foundation of people that you can kind of draw from, because having two whole businesses that are in a major, one of the major malls in our area, that's got to be difficult.
It is. And I think one of the ways that we maintain our happiness and our sanity, honestly, is to make sure that we know our roles and we pretty much nurture each one of those roles. So I know my role as a mom, and I make time for me being a mom. I know my role as a wife, and I make time for us to have dates. Like, we still go on date. We went on a date last week. We still date. Like, we still make sure that we just kind of continue to love on what's important. And I know my role as a woman. And so I take care of myself. I do this thing called Get Your Life. I literally call it Get Your Life Weekend. And I will go and book a hotel room. Usually I try to go to DC because that's my favorite city, or Charlotte. But sometimes even in Raleigh, I will literally book a hotel room and get my life. I will stay in that room, whether it's working, whether it's getting a massage, whether, whatever it is. And when I come back, I feel like I can be the best wife and the best mom. And, I can have the best sales on those days because I'm happy. And so so that's one of the things that we've done. And then, like I said, our circle, oh my goodness, they're small but mighty, and we make sure that we love on them just like they love on us, but there's nothing that we lack because of our circle. Like, they make sure that we are good. And so that's really the thing that's important. Like, even now, as my father, he has hours, maybe even days remaining, and Terrance was able, today he didn't even have to worry about going into the store. Our friend covered the first part, and he has an employee that covered the inner part, which is a friend as well. And those things are important for us. Like, we spent time, kind of like getting those relationships to where they are now. And so now that we actually need them, it feels good to actually have a village that take care of us as well as our children. Yep. And so I think sometimes, like, they say, oh, it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah, and our parents. It's a village for us too. And so we're, like Terrance said, we're getting to the place where my brother lives 5 minutes away. I will call my brother, hey, you want your babies? These your babies too. And so we do that. Their godparents are amazing. There's nothing that Alan Savina wouldn't do for them. So we're just thankful.
I'm very grateful that you took the time to explain that, because there's so many entrepreneurs that listen in to the podcast that are just in this mindset that I can do it all. I'm going to have to do it all. I don't have anyone else to lean on. And so I love the fact that you are saying that and kind of stressing that. Like, it's so important to have a community and a tribe of people that you can rely on, because as an entrepreneur, you can't handle it all. And it's like, for me, like, I love people who've been in the industry longer. Like, I look up to event planners that are like doing their thing, and I ask them questions. I text them, like, and I keep a relation. I call them occasionally just to like, hey, how's it going? I call different vendors because sometimes I just need to run ideas, and sometimes I'm just calling just to check up on them. And they do the same thing for me. And it's like, it's so helpful to know that I have other resources out there and I can rely on people. And if I need you, I can text you. You don't feel like I'm just taking advantage of you, but I can text you and you'll be there for me because I took the time to establish that relationship with you.
And that's the biggest thing. You have to establish a relationship. And honestly, and I was sharing this with Terrance either earlier today or yesterday, you never know when you'll need, like, if you take care of people and you do right by people when you can, when you can't, it won't feel like, oh, they're using me, or, it won't feel that way, because you need to say, if you hang out, you go to dinner beforehand, it won't feel like, okay, she needs somebody to talk to now, so let me go over. It won't, that's not how it is. Yep.
It'll feel more authentic.
Right, definitely. And the other thing, to your point, I tell everyone, you can do everything, but you can't do everything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in a place now where I hire help.
Oh,
Yes, hire help.
I hire help, and that has freed me up, a lot, because the kids are in daycare now. Listen, the beginning of March, those jokers got out of my house, okay? And it frees us up for 8 hours a day to do the things that we need to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So having a business that promotes other businesses is a genius idea. And when I heard about it, I was like, why didn't I think of that? But it's like those aha moments that happen that, like, it makes the best stories. Can you kind of tell us kind of where that idea of doing this type of business model came from?
I think the biggest thing, so when we started, I started the lounge because I used to have an event called the Mom Lounge, and it was a place where we could actually get together. We would network, we would have drinks, we would have food. A lot of mompreneurs were my vendors. They would come out and they would sell their products. And so we were able to shop. We did all the things that moms and women love to do. And I told Terrance, I was like, babe, it would be so dope if we could have this every day, like just create this atmosphere every single day. And I actually lost my job. It was the first time I've ever been fired from a job in life. And I'll never forget, matter of fact, tomorrow is my 2-year anniversary of me getting fired from my job. And I text my first lady, right. And I'm gonna post it tomorrow, actually. But I text my first lady. It was a group chat. My first lady, my pastor, and Terrance. And I said, listen, y'all, I'm struggling today. And long story short, my first lady came back. She said, and her name is Ashley. She said, well, you're going to be full of frustration until you decide to be full of faith. And they went on about how I was stressed because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not supposed to be there, and this and that. I lied to you all night, and I will show you the text messages. 10 minutes later, that lady called me in her office and fired me. I had never, ever, like, Terrance was like, it was crazy. I was like, I'm scared of y'all prayers. Like, I don't know what type of y'all have, but I'm scared of it. And so the next day I was kind of beating myself up, and I cried so bad because that day I left and I went to pick Taylor up. I had to ask where her classroom was because that job was so strict and so stressful that I didn't even play a role in Terrance putting Taylor in daycare. I'm not that type of mom. But I felt like I needed that job because I'm so used to basically whether I sell one t-shirt or have one event or sell 100, people are, I get paid every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was comfortable. I enjoyed. Look, I was a recruiting manager. I made really good money. I enjoyed it. Yeah. But now, so the next day, Terrance took me to the mall to Triangle, and they had this space available. He was like, "Why don't you get it?" I'm like, "I just got fired yesterday. Like, you don't have no money. Like, what you mean?" And when I tell y'all, they all but gave us that space. Wow. They talking. I moved in. We didn't pay a deposit, did we? I don't think we paid a deposit. And I was like, I didn't even want to feel it with my stuff. I wasn't going to wreck my brain feeling it with my stuff. I wanted to feel it with other moms and create the Mom Lounge event that I had before. So now when you go into the lounge, and I rebranded when I moved from Triangle to Crabtree, and it's just the lounge because I don't want you to feel like you have to be a mom to come in. But we create that thing. Like in the back, we have drinks back there. You have little areas where you can actually, like co-working spaces, like 2 co-working tables. We have a space for events. We haven't really done many because of COVID, but we have a space for that. And we have 27 brands in our store that sell their products and services.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
Terrance has a similar testimony because that's what it is. He lost his job. He was laid off because of COVID. And
Cisco laid me off. They actually offered me a severance package in November of last year. And for a couple of years now, since we opened the first store, I had been asked, when are you going to do something for dads? When are you going to do something from dads? We need something like this. And my response was always, I don't know. I don't really have the time or I guess the desire to do it. But then COVID hit last year. And then I was like, you know what? Now I have an opportunity to do something that it's an obvious need because a lot of men have been approaching me about it. Let me sit down and build on the business model that we've already established with these 2 prior stores and see if I can implement that same thing for men. And that's kind of short story of how the stadium or the vision for the stadium was born. So,
yeah, I actually went there. Was it week before? No, it was last week. I think it was last week because I was getting ready to go on vacation. Actually, I'm still on vacation. But yeah, work don't stop. But I went inside and I was like, this is amazing. Why didn't I think of this? This is like perfect. I found these because I was looking for I literally was going everywhere trying to find some good sandals to wear. And
you bought the sandals.
The brown.
Yeah.
Those joints is fire.
I'm fire. To hear that, man. Have you worn them yet?
Oh yeah, I wore them. I wore them while I was in Florida. I was in Orlando for a while, so yeah, because I want these toes out. Okay?
And my brother was like, "I'm buying these sandals." He tried to buy his. Matter of fact, I think he did buy them before the store even opened.
I went to the stadium when I was in Crabtree Valley Mall, but it was the grand opening that day, so I couldn't even get in because it was a long line. People were just waiting, and I was like, "What is this?" I texted DeVashi, was like, "We got to get him on the podcast." I was like, "Oh, his wife's already going to be on the podcast next week." So I was like, "Oh, okay." I had no idea, so it was packed. I saw everybody in line. I looked it up on Eventbrite real quick, and it was right there, and that's how I found out about it.
It actually blew my mind with the amount of people and the support that was there. You know how you expect things to be big, but it doesn't really hit you until the event comes. And then when it came, I was like, wow, this is definitely a need. And I'm glad that I was able to implement it and get it going. And we literally did that in 27 days.
Wow. That's a super event planner right there.
27 days. Wow. I had an amazing team around me from the interior designer, a lighting director. I had one of my homeboys named Cedric McKay. He hung the TVs for me. Had an electrician. Like what you see is the finished product, and although I'm the face of it, I had a lot of help. A lot of help.
So how did you feel like just looking out and seeing those people in line, and then when those doors opened for the first time and people just started flooding in? Like, how did you feel?
It was an amazing feeling, honestly. It was amazing. Again, in disbelief, like I did not expect it to go in the manner that it did. And then on the day of the opening, to see like just the amount of people, to hear the testimonies that people shared, just how, man, we need this. This is necessary. You're 20 years too late. This is I even heard people say, what is this? Like now people come, I had people approach me and say, is this a club? I'm like, no. Think of it as a man cave inside of the mall where you get the best of both worlds. You get to shop and then you get the lounge component, because most guys are like me. I don't like shopping with her. I don't like walking around the mall. Wow. So I figured I'll create something where guys can kind of get away from their significant others and have a chance to kind of chill and hang out. So that's what really the purpose of the stadium is. Shady with this one. Okay.
so both of y'all spaces.
Really like, let me just tell you, the first on the grand opening, they made over $15,000 in 4 hours.
Wow.
And they're already over $25,000.
But that's a community for you though. Like that says a lot about Raleigh, Durham, like the people who drove from the outskirts. Like it says a lot about the community. It says a lot about who you guys are as well. Just for people to come out and support you off the strength of like your name and just your character. But that says
the brands do a lot too, and that's one of the benefits of having that type of collaborative business, because. Like, for instance, I'm wearing the Rasha shirt. I love Rasha. I knew her prior to her going into the stadium, but I love her. And I purchased her shirt from there. If you didn't know who she was and you came in and you liked the shirt, you can purchase it. If let's say Phoenix Lee, she has the watches. If she's promoting her watches, somebody may come in to purchase a watch, but then they walk past some socks and they're like, oh, I'm going to buy socks from them. And so it being like, 15 people promoting, but you're kind of reaping the benefits of all of that. So
because I bought the sandals, and then I bought some glasses, and then I bought some two wristbands.
Look, so it's just I wear everything from the stadium.
and that's kind of what I wanted to do: create a one-stop shop where guys could come and ladies could get everything that you're looking for. And I think I probably hit it on the nail. It's a couple things I don't have, but I think you can go there and pretty much get you can cover it from A to Z.
And it's different. I think that's what I like. Those braids, like it's different. It's stuff that you wouldn't really see anywhere else. That's
what's up. That's what I felt like when I went in there. I was like, again, why not think about this? But both of your businesses are really big on networking and having a space where those like minds can cohabitate. What was the inspiration of making sure that you have a collaborative section in your businesses? Because I believe the young man that was at the counter was saying that you have a membership with the stadium, whereas that for whatever the fee is, that people can come by and kind of just use the space, lounge, if you will, inside of the stadium. Where did that idea come from, and how is it going?
For me, I kind of wanted to not only give the shopping component and the option to be able to come and lounge, but I wanted to create a safe place where guys could come and be developed holistically. So with that particular membership component, again, you can come, you can take advantage of the pool table, the PS5, the co-working spaces that we have there. But I also wanted to have sessions where guys come and they were able to be empowered, whether it be talking about marriage, credit, life insurance, just being encouraged and surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. I think that speaks to the community aspect that you spoke of earlier, and just to recognize nature, really wanting to just kind of be a blessing and help other people. So I wanted to make sure people saw the stadium as not just a place to shop, but a place where you can actually come and be developed holistically. That's very big for me.
What was the idea behind having that's because I was looking at your social media platforms, because you also have other businesses that pretty much going to rent out the space. So how does that work? So that if someone's looking for a space that's kind of, you're already going to be in the mall and you already have that that good location, how can they go about actually renting either one of your spaces?
They can, it's areas on our website where they can actually kind of get in contact with us. They can stop by. A lot of people, some people come in and they're shopping, or they just kind of ran across it. We've had a baby shower in the lounge before. And they come in and they're like, oh, I want to have such and such event here. Let us know. I mean, and we don't charge, it's not $500 an hour. It's very reasonable, because we were blessed with this space, and we want to make sure that we're a blessing to everyone else. So they can just, honestly, we're very accessible. They can reach out to us online, like I said, on the website, or they can send us a message or come see us in person.
Nice. So y'all have you said about 25 businesses. How many businesses collectively would you say that you guys are?
43.
Close to about 45. Yeah. She is 27 and I have 18.
Okay. Oh, wow. You want to shout out any of those businesses off the top of your head?
Yes, I'll start. Let me see if I can remember all of them. Taylor Time, which is Kalisha. She has the Invicta watches. I have
my bracelet.
Kelvin Brock. He makes the bracelets by hand. Bonvi, the mobile cigar.
Yeah. I've seen their mobile cigar.
She's amazing.
Nazir, the oils and the fragrance that you see at the counter. His name is actually Terrance, but the name of the business is Nazir. He does those. Noble Companion.
Yes, and she's in the lounge and the stadium. Terrance tried to take some of my people from me.
That means you got good people.
We had some brands that were doing really well in the lounge. And 3 of them actually went to the stadium because they have a market where they can kind of, it's kind of unisex, I guess. Yeah. So Noble Companion, she sells handbags in my store. She has a handbag studio in Durham as well. Mm-hmm. But she said the shades, the glasses that you got, and the passport cover and all of that, that's her brand. Yeah. So Noble Companion, Ladrea, Jolie London, she has the hats and the fedoras. She's phenomenal. She was doing amazing. She was one of our top sellers in the lounge for months. Like, she's been doing well, consistently. And my love, Whitney, from Proverbs Culture, she's also in the lounge and in the stadium. And we have Chantilly Glam in the lounge, all your jewelry. Yeah, and of course, I have to shout out my babies. We have Deuce's Playground. Our babies actually have businesses, and so
Okay.
Yes.
so they t-shirt, like kids t-shirts and accessories and socks and all that stuff for girls and boys. My babies have it with Deuce's Playground, and I have a boutique. Curves.
Okay.
I'm big on creating what I wish existed. Being plus size, we have never been able to just go into any store in a mall and find boutique style clothing. They never had anything like that. So when I was in Triangle, I used to hate that I couldn't wear a lot of the clothes that I sold in the store. I couldn't fit them. Like no one went over a size large or extra large. So this time I created what I wish existed, and I opened up Curves Redefined. So I have Mom Redefined, Curves Redefined, and Home Redefined. I'm a real estate agent too.
Okay. Yes.
It's the commas for me.
Right.
So
we have some amazing brands, and we have space for new ones. We do 3-month contracts with the brands, and the most expensive space is $500. So
very simple. I had a question about because you mentioned that both of your kids have businesses. So I wanted to see if you guys, I think you're the first couple that we've had that has young kids.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else I think has had like older kids that are like in their 30s already. So since you all have, small kids and you're training them up to be young entrepreneurs, can you tell us a little bit about the values that, just because other people that are listening might also have young kids or want to have kids one day, can you tell us about some of the values that you're teaching them at a young age, and like how you want them to be maybe independent and how to believe in themselves and kind of go counter to culture from this mindset of like, you have to go to college, you have to grab this job, and then you have to work at this place because that's what you're supposed to do, versus like just learning how to like leap and go out on faith and just like trust God and everything that they do, and just to be able to explore their interests without any limitations.
I think
one of the things I hope, not hope, but I know that we're doing for Taylor and Terrance is that we're showing them, as you said, you can go against the culture, and you can, as Rika said, she's big on creating what she wished existed. But it's almost like you can carve your own path, and everybody's path is different. Yep. Nobody has to go the route of going to college, getting a job, and the days of working 30 years for one company and retiring are long gone now.
Listen,
it just is. That's the way I was taught, and I always thought with a background in IT that I get that one job, work there my whole life, retire, get a pension and be good to go. But as you can tell, it's not like that. So I want to show them that it's okay to start your own, and just to thrive being an entrepreneur is very possible.
Yeah. And I also, and I want, it's kind of twofold. One of them is if your child is expressing interest in something, and just know that they're never too young. Like a lot, like when Deuce first came to us, I shut it down because I thought he just wanted to sell. He came to me, he said, "Mommy, I want to sell something in the lounge." And all I could think about was, if he does this, then that's more work on me. I'm doing, and I immediately shut it down. So this was a couple of months later. Christmas time came, and he kept saying, "I want $100 bill. I want a $100 bill." So finally, we gave him a $100 bill, and he's like, "Yes, now I can go and buy me some socks and bow ties and sell in the lounge." So we knew he was serious. Like,
He's like, "Oh, so you ain't gonna do it? I'm gonna figure out a way to do it."
Right, and so we took the money, and we actually invested more. And his birthday is February 22nd. So instead of having a birthday party and spending hundreds of dollars on a birthday party, we had him a launch party. And his friends from school came out. They bought socks. He has the cutest little socks. He has socks in the stadium and the lounge as well. But he has the cutest little socks. And I had a kids line, so I left this part out. But when I was obsessed with my baby, just like the world revolved around him, I started Childish, and it was a kids t-shirt line that had nothing but sayings that I would say to Deuce, like the curls get the girls. He has little curl. Well, he has braids now. We had little curls. Had the curls get the girls, and all these things. So I gave him Childish. I turned Childish into Deuce's Playground on Instagram. And when I tell you, he has a green light card with his little picture with him throwing up socks. He has a debit card, and we'll go to Target, and he knows. And so now he knows every part of it. When we place an order, it's time to order inventory. He's right here. He's going through, oh, I don't like that. Oh, I like this. We flew him to LA so he can meet his vendors personally. So we like invested, and I really I tell people all the time, like I pour into so many other people. I would never not pour into my child. So I would strongly encourage, like, because he knew this boy has made thousands of dollars and he's 7 and he has money. And he'll tell people like, I have money.
I got money.
But
I love it.
Because now with what we're working on is just kind of let him be a humble boss. Like, understand that you're 7 and you're a boss, but you're not about to ball out in Target, and you don't have to talk about the people. Well, not really talk about them, but you don't have to like be flashy in front of the ones who may not have a business, because this is hard.
Yes.
You know, and so he but he does every part of his business. He does the inventory, he does if he's in the lounge, like tomorrow, Fridays he doesn't have school. So tomorrow he's going to the lounge or the stadium, and he's gonna be right there selling his little socks on both sides.
Well, I just want to say, like, continue doing what you're doing. I have a friend who both of her parents are entrepreneurs, just like you are. She grew up in the business, just like your children are being able to do. And she's like, she's way ahead of all of us. Like, just to be honest, she's way ahead of all of us. As far as just like investing in real estate, investing in stocks and bonds, like she's just like way ahead of all of us. And so I think the fact that you're doing this now at 7 years old, like that speaks volumes to where he's going to be and where your daughter's going to be as well. And just like, I mean, that's where they already are now, but like when they're 20 something, it's like, they already know that the mindset of an entrepreneur, and they also know the mindset of just like being able to just like take their interests and run with it. And so if you have that mindset, you can do anything. You can do anything. So that's awesome.
I love what you said, and Rick alluded to it too. There has to be an interest. That's very key. And when there's an interest, the pour has to be better than the push, or stronger than the push. Because you want to make sure you're not pushing them to do something. You're not pushing them into doing something that they don't really want to do. But if the interest is there, then that's when you make those deposits that they'll grow up never forgetting.
And he's crazy. I'm talking, we would pick him up from school, and the teacher was, hi, I heard Terrance had a business. What is this about? And when I tell them, they're like, that's exactly what he said, but I didn't really believe it. Like, my baby knows what he's talking about. But
he's not making it up.
He knows, and so but it's very important. And I, like I said, for a while, and I was beating myself up because for like 2 or 3 months, my baby was like, oh, I want to sell socks on both. Mommy, please let me sell something in the lounge. And I'm like, Deuce, like, what are you going to sell? And he knew what he wanted to do, but I guess he felt like us giving him that $100 bill would say, if you're not going to buy it, I'm going to buy it.
I know that's right.
That $100 bill changed his life.
It changed his life. And we let him keep it. He kept his $100 bill. We just, we invested in it. We didn't tell him that part. We just kind of added it to his little stash. But yeah, he's really good. And so now he's so business minded that when my daughter is 3, her name is Taylor. Taylor's 3, and he's like, Mommy, it's not fair. It's really not fair. I was like, what's not fair? You have the lounge, and Daddy has the stadium, and I have Deuce's playground. Well, what is Taylor gonna sell?
Oh.
Taylor hasn't told me that she wanted to sell anything. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh, you have to do this. But when she expresses interest, I mean, she's still young, so when she's gonna be into fashion, I know. Like, she's a little deeper. But but when we see that, we'll invest in her as well. And I just tell people all the time, you do not, they don't have to go to college. I mean, we want them to, but we want them to go to Central. Listen.
Yes.
But if they don't, because there's so many people, I look at my student loans now and I just try to, add it up, and it's missing something because, I learned things. I built relationships, but I don't know. Student loans are a lot. And so if we can avoid that, like, let's do it.
I think you got him on the right trajectory of possibly avoiding all of that.
Yeah.
There's really more than one way to be successful.
Yep.
And so one other thing I wanted to ask you guys was that both of you mentioned that faith is a big part of the driving force of everything that you do. How does your faith translate into the message of the lounge and the stadium?
For me, that's an easy answer because I launched a business in the middle of a pandemic, and most people would think that's crazy. I've even heard it. I've heard people say, do you think that's a good idea, starting a business in the middle of a pandemic? Like, people aren't going out. Are people still going to malls? Online shopping is taking over, so nobody's going to stores. I've heard all of that. And as you said earlier, in only, literally 2 weeks, the numbers speak for itself.
Right.
So it took a lot of faith for me to be able to take that jump, especially being laid off from my job. It's like, okay, you go into survival mode. Like, what am I going to do next? And then any real entrepreneur knows when you jump out there and you launch something, you don't know if it's going to fail. You really don't. There's a possibility of it failing, but you still have to take that risk. So for me, I had to truly pray, trust God, and say, is this what you want me to do? And he showed me, he gave me the vision. And I said, if you give me the vision, then you'll allow everything to take place that will cause us to be successful. And he's done that so far.
Nice.
I think after that, listen.
I think faith is a thing that, and of course, wherever you fall on that spectrum of faith, wherever it's just, you may have faith in yourself. I think it's important to really kind of take those moments and just launch out, not be afraid to try, not be afraid to fail. It's just the trying, because I believe if you're God-fearing, that if you do the work, God will bless it.
Yeah.
And so it's like he's waiting for you to do the work, because he can't bless nothing, So I'm really thankful that you guys have really sat down and thought about, okay, what is the need of my community? And it's not already present. And trust me, once we do it, you'll trust God that once it's done, people will respond. And definitely people have responded to what you guys are doing.
Yep. And I'm so thankful. I told you all how I started the lounge. My first lady, Lady Ashley McNair, she said, you're going to be full of frustration until you decide to be full of faith. And that statement has stuck with me and it's been 2 years. And I still strongly believe that I would have still been at my desk, frustrated and mad that I did not have a life, and that I was missing a lot of my babies growing up. And again, I'm not that mom. I'm very involved. Like, we're very family oriented over here. And so I feel like I would have been right there if I just did not have the faith to just truly believe that God will bless us with the resources and the connections that we needed to execute our vision.
And the same thing for me, I definitely would have still been working, I'll be honest. So I like to look at it as saying the pink slip gave me my purpose.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Let me get that. That's quotable. That's quotable. Hold on. Put it beside your quote. Yes, I gotta get that right now. So it was the pink slip pushed me to my purpose.
The pink slip gave me my purpose.
Gave me. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So one of the questions that I like to ask in closing is what do you, and you both can either answer this together as a couple or individually, but what do you use to pour into yourself? So as a husband, as a wife, as a mother, as a father, as someone's daughter, son, as business owners, as friends, as church members, what do you use to pour into yourself to refill your cup at the end of a long week, at the end of a long day? How do you, show up to be the best version? And like you said, with all those different roles that you play, how do you show up to be the best person that you can be? Whenever you feel like your cup is low, what do you use to refill that?
So I'm different, and I'm working on this, because I have always been the type to get my energy from others. I am so passionate about what I do that I'm like, if I'm around my friends and I'm encouraging my friends, or I'm encouraging someone, that is me refilling my cup, right? So now I realize that I also need to allow time for me to stop and just rest. And my self-care is really just, like I said, having a get your life weekend, and I just sit back, I relax. I try not to work. That's so hard for me, but I really try my hardest not to work. And I'm really trying to even do better with like getting facials and massages and things like that. I feel it's so cliche, but to me, I could be sitting at home watching Netflix and A Quiet House, and I'm because it's not always like that. You may even hear them upstairs now. We send them upstairs.
I do hear them.
Gave them a little bribe, like they'll give you ice cream later. But that's just me, and I'm trying to do better about being able to have self-care that doesn't involve other people. So it doesn't have to necessarily be me going to brunch with others. I can sit at home and be fine with being by myself.
Amen.
Nice.
Amen to that. Yes.
My brother Terrance, what do you use to refill your cup?
For me, it's just surrounding myself with friends. We haven't been able to do the movies in a while, but I'm a big movie buff. So a lot of times I'll go to the movies by myself, honestly.
Me too.
One of my other favorite things to do, which is why I have 2 card tables in the back, is just playing spades. It's like one of my favorite things to do. So that just I'm very competitive when it comes to that. So I really love enjoying that. Kind of gets you away from thinking about business, family, home. You can just have fun with the guys or ladies. So then I know she mentioned massages and things being cliche, but I do that consistently. At least once a month.
Right,
I try to do that.
Right.
That's right.
Get these toes done.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's very needed. And I just try to take those mental breaks, as she said, where I can relax and focus on the things that I need to.
Nice. Okay, so if you guys could, this is going to be our very last question. If you could take a moment and just speak a word of encouragement to all the current and future Black RDU entrepreneurs that are listening today.
My biggest thing would be to know that in business and in life, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And I said that earlier, but I really want y'all to understand that you can do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to. You can do anything that God gives you the energy to do, but you can't do everything. Know the importance of a team, hire help. I used to try to do my own graphics. No, I have a graphic designer now because the things that will take me 2 or 3 days to complete, it takes her 20 minutes to complete. That's time that I could be doing other things. Hire help. Know that you can't do it all. And love on your village because you're going to need them to love on you.
Yes.
For me, I would say no idea is crazy. Once you have the thought and you transition it to paper, the next step is making sure that you implement it. And once you implement it, then you've already taken 3 major steps through that short process. So a lot of people have ideas, but they don't implement them and they don't get started. So just take that risk. Don't be afraid of failure and just realize that you can do it. It takes time to build it where you need it to be, but it can be done.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, clap it up. We want to say thank you to Terrance and Gerrikka Bunche, the owners of the lounge and the stadium located in Crabtree Valley Mall. So y'all make sure y'all go and visit them. Make sure y'all are supporting them and all the businesses. I believe you said 45 different businesses. Are they Black owned or a little mixture of both?
They are
all Black owned, 45 different businesses. This is like the spot to be. Trust me, if you have not visited either one of these spots, you are going to definitely love your experience. I know I have. I'm about to start probably give you my money for the membership because I don't know enough people that know how to play spades. And you said you can play spades. I want to see you at the table. Just saying.
Okay, come on, man. Let me know when you're ready. I'll be there.
So, lastly, can you tell everybody how they can find you, your social medias, all of that, your websites, all of that?
Yes. You can find the stadium on both Facebook and Instagram under the Stadium NC.
All right. Your websites?
My website is www.thestadiumnc.com.
All right. And the lounge?
So I can be found on Instagram as Mom Redefined and the Lounge NC. And then my website is theloungenc.com.
Nice. All right. So thank you guys. I know y'all have a busy life and a busy day today. We are definitely sending prayers to you and your family, your pops. I understand you are going through right now, and I'm definitely going to make sure that I call out your name in prayer tonight because I know how that is. Aisha, you got anything else?
No, thank you guys for taking the time to be here. And yes, prayers that your father's okay and recovers quickly. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys.
Good night.
Yes, it's awesome. Thank you. Good night.